Hello and welcome back. So today we are making some salmon, some red potatoes, and we are cooking some Mexican white rice. Let's go ahead and get started on this. So we are already frying our rice, and the reason why I say Mexican white rice is because I don't add the tomato sauce to it. I just leave it with the chicken bouillon. So let's go ahead and fry that. Let's just get it lightly brown. I don't cook it all the way to where it gets that golden. I just leave it slightly brown. Let's go ahead and wait for that to fry up. We'll be right back. Okay, so we have the rice here ready, and we're gonna add just a little bit of water. So that, sorry guys. So that we can go ahead and start adding our garlic and spices. So like I mentioned on my last video, I have my bottle of cumin and pepper all blended up. I add some water and I have it ready to use so that we don't have to do that every time that we're gonna cook. So my usual 2 cooking spoons. Oops, sorry. So there is 1. And oops. Let's just call that 2. Sorry. So there it is. And then we are going to add our about half a tablespoon of garlic. And then I'm going to start measuring for you guys. I usually don't do this. Let's do 1 and let's start it off with just the 1 for now. Which was 1 tablespoon of the chicken bouillon. And let's go ahead and just let that simmer for just a few minutes. And then we are going to go ahead and add a little bit more water. So let's go ahead and we'll be right back. Okay, so now it is definitely in the higher simmer. Let's go ahead and lower that a little bit. And we're going to add 1 full 24-ounce cup of water to that. And we're just going to let it cook from there. Okay? And let's go ahead and get started with the salmon. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and go to the potatoes. So I like using the small red potatoes. They have a lot more flavor to me. So what I do is I cheat, and since I'm usually using all my pilots on the stove, I like putting my potatoes in the microwave. And of course I just judge it depending on when it's done. I check on them sorry, every so often. So let's go ahead and put these in the microwave and get started on the mashed potatoes. Okay, so for our salmon, we're gonna start prepping that. Those are out. They're thawed out. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna melt some butter on a pan. And while that melts, we can add just a little bit, like half a tablespoon of garlic in there, and just let that cook up a little bit. Sorry guys. Let's let that melt, and let's start prepping our salmon. Okay, so this is what I do. So we're gonna get the salmon, and I'll show you. And so we're gonna try to slice it right there in between, and start cooking it like that. So the reason being is I like to stuff mine with some Philadelphia cheese and some jalapeños and some cilantro. And then of course coat it with some spices up on top. So let's go ahead and get that done. So for our garlic in the pan, what we're going to do is we have the butter, we put some garlic, and let's throw in some thyme leaves. just a little bit. Let's just sprinkle it in there. Let's throw in some parsley. Just throw in a couple of flakes in there. And then let's do a little bit, just a few. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, so sorry. Just to add a little bit of, we're gonna add some red pepper flakes. Okay. And let's let the butter continue to melt. And let's go ahead and start cutting up our salmon. We have the stove set on medium. And let's go ahead and get that going, okay? Let the butter melt. Let's go ahead and spice up our fish. There we go. Okay, so we have our salmon with a little pocket there. This one kind of messed up on me. So did this one. But this one came out right. So we have a little pocket, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut up some cilantro. We're going to cut up some jalapeño, and then cut up some, or mix it in with some Philadelphia cheese and stuff that in the middle. And then we're going to season up on top. And what I'm going to use is, I like spicy. So we're going to use some slap your mama, a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little bit of paprika, and a little bit of the lemon and herb. Okay, so let's go ahead and get that started. Okay, so we have our chopped up jalapeno, we have our chopped up cilantro, and here we have our cream cheese ready to go, and our potatoes are chiming. Let's go ahead and check on those. It made a slight mess, but let's go ahead and check them out. And maybe 5 more minutes. I put them in there for 11 the first time around, which was 3 potatoes. Let's go ahead and do 5 more minutes, and then we gotta have to clean that mess. But here we go. 5 more minutes for the potatoes. So we're back with the cream cheese, jalapeno, and cilantro that I like to mix. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of mesh it together. It doesn't have to be perfect, just to get it in there. And be careful, remember, just a reminder, do not touch your eyes when handling jalapeno. So sometimes I'll take recipes from TikTok or wherever we see them. My husband sends them over, and then I kind of custom them to how I would like it. So this is how I came up with this. So let's go ahead and stuff the cream cheese with our veggies into our salmon. And then we've got our butter and garlic with some seasonings in there. We're ready to go. Okay, so I kind of made a mess, but it's just for us, so Hubster will be fine with it. So now we're going to put a little bit of the slap your mama on all of it. Just a little bit. Because you don't want it too salty either. So then a little bit, sprinkle a little bit of the cayenne pepper on each. And then some slight paprika. Kind of just pat, and pat. And then now we rinse our hands, and we do the lemon pepper on the opposite side, just so that we can get in seasoning on both sides. And we do Just a tad bit of lemon pepper. Like I say, we don't want it too salty. If we need to add anything, we can add it while it's cooking, but I'd rather it not be salty. Rinse your hands again. And here we go. So now we're gonna add the salmon to the butter with some garlic. Here we go. And here we go. So let's go ahead and turn up the heat on that. We're gonna have it on about 3.5 so that it can start cooking. The oil is hot, the butter is hot, so it's just a matter of it heating up some more. Then here we have the rice cooking. Let me go ahead and rinse my hands. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, as you all heard before we let go, our potatoes are done. So we'll go ahead and get started on those right now. But let's go ahead and go look at the rice. Okay, here we go. We're at the rice. The rice is cooking slowly. We're letting it just simmer in the pan. We have the stove like on 2. Okay, let's go ahead and cover it up and go back to our salmon. Okay, then here we go. Salmon is starting to cook, and salmon doesn't take long to cook, so just be very cautious on that. We started this at let's go ahead and give it 5 minutes on one side and then 5 minutes on the other and see how it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll be right back in 5 minutes. Okay, so while the 5 minutes go by for the salmon, we're gonna start on our potatoes. So we add a little bit of butter, and then you are going to salt and pepper to taste. So let's go ahead and mash these potatoes up. I usually let the person that is going to be eating my potatoes salt to taste, and of course pepper to taste, because some people like them salty, some people don't. So, but it's up to you on how you like to make your potatoes. I like my potatoes lumpy. So here we go. Okay, we'll be right back, guys. Okay, so here is our finished potatoes. Now the 5 minutes are up on the salmon, so let's go ahead and flip it so it can start cooking on the other side. There we go. This one's going to be difficult because these are a little broken, and then of course you all know salmon gets a little soft once it starts cooking, but there we go. And I'm doing this one-handed, so I'm kind of using the pan to help me out flip there. There. Okay, so as you can see, it's cooked on one end. We just need to let it cook on the other. Let's give it 5 minutes and see how that looks. Okay, so we have our potatoes and we have our rice. The rice is ready. We need to take it out of the stove. Let's go ahead and push that over. I don't dare touch the pan because it's too hot, but there's our rice. Nice and fluffy and ready to go. Okay, so we are at 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and let's take a look. Ah, it looks beautiful. Let's go ahead and flip and let the other side get a little bit of a color like that too. So let's go ahead and flip these. Oops, this is scary. Okay, let's try this one. Ooh. Okay, let's try it one more time. Bah! Okay, let's let that other side cook. And this one's gonna challenge me. Yep, everything's gonna come out. It's just the way this thing, it's cut up. Okay, so I'm gonna put you guys on quick pause so I can flip that one. And there it is. Let's go ahead and let it cook on the other side so I can get that little red toasty look on it. And then I've already got our plate going. I've got our rice, our mash, working out some avocado, and then of course our salmon on the better rice. Okay, let's go ahead and show you the finished product. Okay, so here you go. We've got our mash, we've got our salmon on the rice, and our little bit of avocado. And guys, I know this is delish. It took me maybe 30 minutes to get it done. That goes from start to finish with the rice to the last part of it cooking, which was the salmon. Super quick, super easy, super delicious. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us for next week's video. Thank you.